When it comes to speakers, there are a ton of options out there from super cheap to super expensive, but if you're looking for a good pair of computer speakers that won't break the bank, Fifine came out with the Ampligame A20 Gaming Speakers. Now for under $50, do these actually sound good? Let's try them out. So I do have the Ampligame A20 speakers in front of me, and we're going to unbox them and try them out to see what they sound like. Now I am kind of a snob when it comes to speakers because I really do like the high-end ones. I've always had Bose surround sound for my TV, and I really like the Harman Kardons and stuff like that. But for this setup that I mainly use for this YouTube setup and then mainly for my 9-to-5 job, I don't want to spend a lot of money on speakers. So with these coming in at $46.99, these are a great deal, but I am excited to see how they sound for that price. So let's go ahead and open them up. And in Fifine fashion, they do come with instructions. I really like that Fifine sends instructions on all their products because it shows you how to use them. And it comes with 2 sets, and these are wired speakers, so they do not have Bluetooth capability, but that's probably what you expect at this price point. And the build quality, these are pretty much all plastic, so just be aware of that. It does feel like it's a higher quality plastic, not too cheap. All right, so here are the speakers out of the box, and they are pretty light. They're not heavy in any way, especially with that plastic build, but it does come with the cords connected to it, and you do have a 3.5mm jack, or you can use the USB one as well. And the cord length for these two that actually going to connect to your console or computer or whatever is about 6 feet, so plenty of length to connect it to anything you need to. And then the cord between the 2 speakers is 5 feet long, so you're going to have a maximum length of 5 feet between the 2 speakers. So you can't set these up too far apart, but basically what these are intended for is just setting on your desktop or in front of your TV or anything like that. So 5 feet should be plenty of length. There are probably ways to extend those, but they do recommend not adding any type of cable extensions because it could affect the quality of sound and may not even work. And here's the front of these speakers, so you can see those. They are labeled R and L for left and right. And on the right speaker right here, it does have a kind of a subtle Fifine logo on it on the grill here. And then it does have the volume knob on the front down here. And on the very top, it has your button for your RGB controls. There are 7 different RGB modes that I'll show you once we get these hooked up. And then on the left speaker, you do have your power button, which also doubles as a mute button as well. And then on the bottom of the speakers, they do have these rubber pads here to set them on your desktop to keep them from scratching or even moving around. So you can have them set up vertical like this, or another cool option is to have them sitting horizontal, especially if you have like a low height for your monitors and want to have them sitting under there. Either way, and we'll test them both out. So enough talking about these. Let's go ahead and get these hooked up and see what they sound like. So I got the speakers plugged in, super easy, plenty of length. I got them sitting about 4 feet apart on my desktop here. Just got them going into my Mac Mini on the desktop as well. And what I'm going to be doing is going through a bunch of different types of music so you can see the sound difference between some calmer music and some different music depending on your style and what you're going to be listening to. And we're going to be using some royalty-free music. And if you do have a YouTube channel, that is something that you definitely need, is royalty-free music. I'm going to be using Epidemic Sound. I've been using that on a couple different channels and really love it. Definitely has a large library of not only music, but sound effects as well. Another option is Artlist that I also have a subscription to. So I'll post a link in the description below if you guys want to check those out. If you do have a YouTube channel, definitely highly recommend it. But we're going to go ahead and jump into Epidemic Sound and hear some sound samples. I'm hoping the sound comes through the microphone all right. I'm going to be using my shotgun mic up here, the Rode NTG4. So I'm going to try and place it in some different areas to see if we can get best sounding out of this that we can. as I'm editing the sound samples, I will tell you that it gives the speakers no justice in the way that they sound. They do sound a lot better and more clear in person than through the microphone that I was using. And I couldn't find any other microphone that made it sound better, but I will tell you that even though they sound decent in those sound samples, they do sound a lot better in person. Not the bassiest of speakers or anything like that. The bass is okay. It's a little less than to be desired, but for a price range for these speakers, it is not bad at all, and they do sound really good, especially if you're just having some quiet background music or maybe even playing a game or listening to a movie and you don't have them blaring or anything like that. You still get a good sound quality on these speakers. The measurements on these are the long length on these is about 5 inches, and then they're about 3 inches wide. So super small and compact, especially if you're in a tight space or don't want a whole lot of clutter on your desk. These things fit nicely. And for the money, they do sound good. They're not the bassiest of speakers or anything like that, but it's not what you're going to get out of this price point in the speakers. These are good for if you're doing Zoom calls and want to listen to audio that way, or just have some background music, or maybe you have on a Netflix show that you want to have these hooked up to. These are really good. And a lot of the sound samples, I had it at least halfway up, if not more. In order to get a good sound out of these, I felt like you had to be at least halfway up in volume. These are 2.0 surround sound speakers, and when I had that cinematic music on, you do get kind of a nice immersive sound with these. You do hear everything crystal clear, so it's not too muddy or anything like that. So I do recommend these for the price point that they are coming in at. If you're looking for something $50 or less, these do the job for that price point. Obviously, if you jump into the $100 or more, you're going to get better quality speakers, and some that are going to be even larger in size and sound a lot better and maybe come with Bluetooth capability. But again, you're spending more money on those speakers, and these are meant to stay in that nice budget-friendly price point that a lot of people are looking for, especially if you don't want an expensive setup. Something simple like this will do just the job, and they are way better than your normal computer speaker, so it is definitely an upgrade from that. So if you guys are interested in checking these out, I will post a link in the description below. But if you like this video, feel free to hit that like and subscribe button, and check out these other videos for editing tips or even some other microphones from Fifine. Thanks for watching.